Mark, let's get straight into the next fixture then. It's a tasty one. It's one the fans look forward to. It's a rivalry and a derby nobody really knew they wanted until a few years back when it started to build. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, always look forward to games, particularly when we've got a little bit of momentum and confidence within the group as well. So we've been looking forward to it. We've been preparing well for it, as we always do. So yeah, that little bit of extra spice, if you want to say that it's a local derby and rivalry or whatever's been built up over the years, and it adds that little bit of extra bit of taste to the game. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
And it's really interesting that obviously there'll be that derby flavour to it because of obviously the distance between the two clubs, both in Buckinghamshire and some of the recent history. But actually, both sides, for different reasons, need the points. It's a really important game for both teams.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you look at the league tables, we're opposite ends of it, and they're pushing at the top end. So credit to them for that. But ultimately, we've got a job to do. We know what we need to achieve, and it's another win. That's what we've got to do. That's what we've got to focus. That's been our mindset all the time, to go into games and win them. But we're very aware of what Wycombe can do, the style of play, and how they approach the game. So we need to be mindful of things, but we need to be confident in what we can bring to the game as well, and go and implement that on Saturday.
Are you obviously you're aware it's a stupid question, but you've been across and have you talked about last season, and will the 4 games that the sides played against each other last season have any bearing on this season? Is there an element that some players want a bit of payback?
I've not spoke about it, to be honest with you. No, I've not mentioned that. I've just focused on what Wycombe are going to pose to us on Saturday, what threat they're going to bring, where we can exploit them, where we feel we can exploit them, and where we can bring our game to help us get the result. So yeah, I like playing in games where there's really good atmosphere and there's a little bit of needle, maybe, if that's what you want to call it, between the teams. But ultimately, we're focused on this season and what we need to do, and I'm sure Wycombe, they'll be the same. They need to achieve their 3 points for different reasons. We need to get 3 points for our reasons. So we're fully focused on that.
And I realise you want to focus on your own side. Lots of people talk about Wycombe as quite a direct physical side, but they've got other elements to their game that need to be taken into consideration as well, don't they?
Yeah, we've looked at how they play and look at certain trends of what teams do, not just Wycombe, but that's every game we approach. We look at certain trends, what to do with the ball and without the ball, and what areas we need to be mindful of, but certainly focusing on what we can do. How can we play our game? How can we implement our kind of game with the ball and hurt Wycombe? But it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a strong game of football. I think it's going to be a physical game of football. But we want to concentrate on ourselves and play our game, and hopefully that can help us get a positive result.
Matt Bloomfield took over from Gareth Ainsworth in charge. Nice continuity there, obviously, with Bloomfield being one of Gareth Ainsworth's players and called Mr. Wycombe. So how much do you know about Matt, and what do you feel about his managerial career so far?
Well, he's done really well, and he's gone back into his old club where he was a player. We're actually on the pro license together. So we've spent 2 blocks together on the pro license so far. So I think we've got 18 months together over various courses and blocks over the next period of time. But we've had various conversations and things like that. But he's done really, really well. He's got the job at his old club, and he's competing at the top end of the table, hoping to push for the playoffs. But ultimately, it's about us and what we do, and we have to concentrate on ourselves and what we need the points for. And it's a big opportunity for us to go and continue our run. We know it's going to be difficult. We know it is. We know it's going to be hard. It's going to require every player to be on their game and at their best. And if we do that, we feel confident of getting a result.
How's the squad looking? Any issues at all?
No issues. Anthony Stewart's back in full training, but he's been out a long time, and we're fully aware that he's been out a long time as well. but it's good to have him back in full training now and working towards things. But no, everybody else is fine. We feel like as a squad we're getting stronger and stronger. And we're not quite at full capacity yet, but we're getting closer and closer with every game that comes. So that's a real positive for us as a squad. It's a real positive for me as a manager to have that calibre of player and that cohort of player to choose from. So yeah, we're in good shape. So yeah, decisions to be made on what we go with on Saturday.
Have you picked Anthony Stewart's brains at all? I bet this was one he really wanted to get back and play in.
Yeah, players always like to play against their old club, of course they do. But like I said, Anthony's been out for a while, and it's just good to have him back in training. That's the main thing. Obviously, he'll looking forward to the game and going back to his old ground. But it's another game. It's another game for everybody, and it's an opportunity for us to go and get 3 points. We know it's going to be difficult, like I've said before, but it's an opportunity for us to go tick another game off and put that towards the points tally we need to try and secure safety.
And just finally, and beautifully segued into it by yourself, what do you think the side needs for that? A couple of wins would do it to see you up this season?
I don't know. I think we're just concentrating on winning. I don't want to. I've got in my mind, but I'm not going to share that with you. I have got in my mind, but I'm not going to share it with you because things change. We're just really focusing on continuing in our run of victories. That's what we want to do. We want to win every game. Someone said to me a while back, we need a win today. Well, I don't think I ever go into a game thinking that I don't want 3 points. Every game we want to win. We want to win in different ways. Of course we do, and we might have to approach things in different ways. But ultimately, we just want to get on continue our sequence of results, being hard to beat, being hard to break down. If I want more from the team, it's probably finishing chances off in the final third a little bit better and being more clinical. And that's been me being hypercritical of the team, but we're creating chances now. But ultimately keeping that solid foundation which we've built over the last 3 games, continuing to create chances. Now just kind of being able to bring it over the line by finishing more of the chances we create.
Thanks, Mark.
No worries.
Mark Soleil Kaikai, obviously away on international duty last week, got a solid hour in with Sierra Leone. How's he come back?
Yeah, he's fine. We had to look after him a little bit because he's done a bit of travelling and played games out there. So like any player who comes back from being away on international duty, we have to look at, we have to assess, and he's fitted back into the group nicely.
As much as it's a privilege, I suppose you want them to play, don't you, when they go away on international duty? There's probably nothing worse for a manager to lose a player and then to see him sat on the bench maybe all weekend and then coming back.
No, of course you want them to play because it's a great honour to go and represent your country at international level. It's a great opportunity. It's a great privilege for players to do that. I said to Sully when he was going out there, he said he was disappointed to miss the games and what have you, but I said, listen, these things don't come around often, and you should be very proud that you've got this opportunity to go and represent your country. And he did that well by all accounts, and I was really pleased for him, and it's nice to have him back though and part of the squad.
And when he did initially sign, it was, we were told it was on a short-term deal until the end of the season. Given the way that he's played for you and the impact that he's made, is this something you're going to be wanting to continue into next season, or is that something you're not going to, discuss with him until everything's done and dusted with this term?
Yeah, I think talk around next season is a little bit premature for everybody because everybody's so focused and driven on the short-term priorities which we have, and that's winning football matches and gaining enough points to stay in this league. Of course, the wider staff at the club and even myself to some extent has to have an eye on the future, but talk about that now is irrelevant. Really we have to really focus all our attention on the here and now, and I've said before that we're going game by game. We've done that over the last 3 games, and we've approached every game a little bit different. whilst trying to keep our identity, but really focusing on the opposition and what we want to do in that particular game. And that's not going to change now from the end of the season. So yes, we've got to think about the bigger picture. Of course we do. And there's certain conversations which do arise between myself and Liam and the club. But ultimately, you know, our full focus is on the next game, which is Wycombe away. And that's all we're focusing on. And that's all my energy really is going into, the staff's energy and the players' energy as well.